I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
Hi, this week I quickly wanted to talk about something that we have going on at the library over the winter season. So last winter, many of you remember that we were doing Hygge, and I'm certain I'm saying that without the umlaut that's appropriate, but that was Hygge, looks like Heige, and that was really about embracing winter. It's like a Scandinavian principle, and the whole thing is about comfort and finding joy and moments in the winter and enjoying it and looking at it maybe from a different lens. And so around here, we really do believe in that mindset stuff. And I think approaching this winter, we were feeling similarly that some of that same positivity and mindset will be really important for everyone as we go through, another Wisconsin winter, but compounded by the idea that maybe you're not able to visit friends as much and family and things like that. And so this winter we're doing, this is going to be embarrassing, Yola Boca float. I think I probably said that wrong as well. I'll have a phonetic description under that I should have said. But anyway, so it is this Icelandic tradition of it's like a Christmas book flood, and the whole idea is about reading and enjoying chocolate. And once again, we think it really connected with what we did last year, where it's just about those tiny indulgences that help keep your spirit up through, these long, dark, cold seasons, that really there's still so much enjoyment to be found in it. Some of the principles from last year that we really focused on was, instead of seeing it as, it gets dark early and I can't do anything, it's like, this is cozy. So it's about embracing some of that and finding ways to make sure that you're always looking at it through the right lens to keep your positivity up throughout the winter. So the library is once again really pushing some of these principles through celebrating things. And this month, we actually have little prizes in every single curbside pickup box. So you'll have to come in and schedule a curbside pickup and grab some materials, and you'll get one of those little prizes, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So we hope to see you over the course of this month, and hope that everybody's doing well. And please keep checking in, because we'll have a lot of fun things over the course of this winter. Thank you. Hi, it's Dee with the news for the week of December 3rd. So we do have news this week. The New Holstein Optimist Club will be hosting a drive-through event to visit Santa, and that's going to be on Saturday, December 12th from 10 a.m. to noon at Optimist Park. If there is rain, that will then take place on December 19th instead. And then Santa will be available to take an outdoor picture with the children, seated on chairs, not on his lap. And then children visiting will also get a small gift from Santa. So that's so cool. Thank you, New Holstein Optimist Club, for putting that on. Make sure you put that date on your calendar, Saturday, December 12th from 10 to noon, Optimist Park. We also had something weird yesterday. So yesterday, December 1st, in the morning, we were here at the library, and all of a sudden we heard what I would have described as kind of a pop, and what the other staff described as what sounded almost like a crash or a boom. And the electricity briefly, it was like a microsecond, it felt like it turned off, and I felt as though I could feel the pop. And our internet went down, and a bunch of weird little alerts showed up in different parts of the library. And so then today I was talking with another member of the community, and they said they also heard something yesterday morning, only they thought it was like a muzzle loader, like a gunshot. And so I'm just throwing it out there because we've tried some Googling and we were wondering if anybody else heard that noise and what it was, or felt the earth. I don't know. It's so interesting. If anyone can solve it, I will totally give you a treat because I love to know the answers to things. So that's what's going on around town the week of December 3rd. Thanks. We did have one more announcement from the city of New Holstein this week. That is that the 2021 dog licenses are now available, so remember to go get yours. It's $5 for a neutered male or a spayed female, and $10 for a non-neutered male, non-spayed female. So you can go ahead and get those at City Hall today. Hi, I am joined this week by Deneen Mueller. Hi, Deneen. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So I'm excited because I know your name only associated with your organization, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do here in town?
Wonderful. Well, I'm the Community Relations Director for Willowpark Place. We're a beautiful assisted living located in a residential setting. We have 45 apartments. What makes us unique is that we have one-bedroom apartments. So when most people think of assisted living, they think of a private room, possibly an attached bathroom to it. This is a full apartment, so it's a great transition away from homes to assisted living.
Yeah, you're right. I did think of that right away. That I didn't realize it was like a whole separate living space.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work then? Do people like you go in and check in on the residents and there's still the timing of it. It's just that they have their own totally private space to use all the time?
They have their own private space. They have a key. It's very much like senior living, senior apartment living.
Oh,
They can be as independent as they like. We just ask that they come to our main dining room for their meals.
mhm.
So it's a visual check on them 3 times a day, but they are able to eat in their rooms as well. The apartments have a little kitchenette, so it's set up very nicely that they can make their own treats if they'd like. We have a full-size refrigerator,
Cool.
microwave, so they can be very independent.
So you're well, sorry about that. So you're the recreation director? Is that what you?
No, community relations. So what I do is help families
I'm sorry.
transition from, that's fine, from the outside, from the apartments or from home or from a skilled nursing building or a hospital. And they can come to us either for a short-term stay, a respite stay up to 30 days, or decide to live with us long-term. So I help in those initial conversations with the family and see what the
Okay.
needs are, and then we have our nurse talk with them, and then our director goes over the contract, and we help the family with the solution for their care needs.
Okay, great. I'm so sorry about that. Um, so uh, you have 45 rooms, you said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
45 apartments. And so are all 45 apartments, how many are usually taken at any given time? How many?
Before COVID, we were full for approximately a year and a half. So now we do have a
Wow.
couple of openings, but we have had almost 20 people move in since COVID. So that really surprised me during this time frame. Our building has been COVID free, both with employees and residents. So we have some great protocols in place. And we are doing in-person visiting from 1 until 4, Monday through Fridays. And that's so important, especially now during the holidays, that families can keep that close connection with them. And we have air
Mhm.
purifiers, we have our sanitizing steps, but it's a great way really to keep that connection.
Yeah, when you said that you had 20 move in, I was thinking that one of the appeals is that it isn't a completely connected space. So, you can certainly have your own space. And then I was wondering about visits. Does that mean that if they have their own apartment, that they are then able to have visits? So you've been sustaining visits and still have no incidents. That's incredible, really. It's remarkable. Yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. So how did you end up here in New Holstein?
Well, that's a great question. I did work in this area several years ago through a hospice company, and this was part of my territory. So I was very familiar with New Holstein and always thought it was a beautiful community. And then when I remarried, my husband lived in New Holstein, so I knew exactly where the community was, and it was a great place, I think, to finish raising our blended family. And then when
Oh,
the
cool.
position came about on LinkedIn for the community relations director, I thought, what a great way to be able to continue my career with seniors and then also have my workplace approximately 4 blocks from my home. So after driving to Sheboygan, Manitowoc, Fond du Lac,
Mhm.
Appleton, years, it was a wonderful way to complete that.
That's so cool. So, what is your favorite thing to do, to attend, to eat? What's your favorite place or thing here in town?
Oh, we have so many great places to eat here. And
Mhm.
we really love the Corner Kitchen. It's a great little restaurant that's always decorated so beautifully and such friendly
Mhm.
service, and the food's always great. But we also love to eat at Strike Zone with Pizzas. My son used to work there in the bowling alley, and then also, of course, the Altona for all our favorite celebrations. We had our wedding reception there. So I think we're very fortunate to have
Oh,
some places here to eat in New
yeah.
Holstein and also in our surrounding areas as well. And I think the favorite activity we like to do, that I like to do personally with our family, is utilize the park, whether it be
Mhm.
in the park around the garden area through the woods, or I know that we've taken many senior photos of my son and daughter. We've had both their graduations at the community center, several meetings there. We've taken our grandchildren fishing at the pond, and it's just a beautiful space. It's a great way to bring the
Mhm.
community together. And then also, it was such relief when COVID happened with social distancing that you could still get out and do your regular normal activities and social distance
Mhm.
as well. So I think we're very fortunate as a community. And the water park, I think I've been there just a couple of times, but I know our kids have used it quite often, and I think it's a real gem in the community.
Yeah, you named so many places. I don't even know which one to go. You clearly love this community because you have a lot of favorites. But a lot of people mention the parks, and that's for me one of them too. Where I think, like you said, being really lucky that you can walk through this really spacious outdoor area and still feel you see your neighbors, you're waving at your friends and people, and you can still like I almost feel like you can escape reality through it where I've taken walks through the parks and thought, oh, who would think that there's a pandemic going? Do you know what I mean? Like in that positive way of there are just people being active out in the community in those spaces. So we are so lucky to have those. Yeah. So I always ask people if there's something that they would, some message that they would like to get out to the community about their organization or something you're involved in separately than that as well. And I do think maybe you have something in mind or maybe COVID brought something up for you, but is there anything that you'd like to tell us upcoming or ongoing?
That's a great question. We do have monthly virtual open houses. They're usually on the weekend, and we put the message out through many of the skilled nursing buildings, hospitals, through the community, also through the chamber. And
Mhm.
we send out a link. We like to use Zoom through email, and it's a great way for families to connect. They can take a virtual tour of our community. They can meet our staff. It's a great way to connect virtually. And then we also
Cool.
have a
So
grief. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm sorry. I was just going to clarify. So those are like the public also can participate, or is that primarily for families of residents there?
For the public as well, and I'm able to print the invitation and mail in process. We have our Meals on Wheels through Willowdale,
Mm.
and whenever we have a virtual event, we're able to print those, and then those get sent with the Senior Meals on Wheels. So it's a great way to reach the community. We also work with our religious community as well. Many of the clergy, I have their emails, and we're able to send those invitations as well, and then they're able to promote that service that we have. as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting. Did you have something else that you wanted to say on that?
In addition to the virtual open houses, we also do in-person tours. So we can have a very quick guided tour if you really want to see the building or see the apartment. So we're able to do that as well since we are COVID-free.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. And now I always, so you've talked about what you do here, and I like to talk about you. And I'm obsessed with food. It's like my thing. Why I have two questions essentially about it. I always like to ask if you could sit down for a meal with anyone, past or present, who would it be and what would be served?
I'd say from the past, I remember as a teenager, I saw a TV movie, and it was about a young girl that really loved sports and being very active and competitive. And her name was Babe Dietrichson. And I thought she was very interesting in that she was an Olympic athlete. She played all different sports. Any sport that she didn't know, she wanted to compete at a very high level. And she ended up winning PGA tournaments. And this was in the 50s, back when a lot of women were not into sports, and she would compete with men. And I just thought that was very interesting. And I loved sports as a kid. I encourage both my children to be into sports. And I think it's a great way to organize your time, stay positive, stay active. You're part of a team, and it helps with team building later in life. And it would be great to meet her and have lunch with her and just find out what motivated her. And not only what motivated during her time where she was in her prime, but also she did tournaments when she had terminal cancer. So what motivated her to continue through that process? And as far as what would be served, I'd say some sort of pasta, seafood, and possibly Greek salad. I know she married a gentleman who was Greek, and part of our family history is Greek as well. And I think that would just be great to be able to share that.
I love that you even picked something that you would share, because I was going to say a lot of times I think we consider what we would like to eat or something that maybe we're not considering the other participant as much. And that one is such a neat, like your overlap of Greek heritage. Love that. And I love pasta. So fun. Okay, thank you for sharing that with us. And then my final personal question is, and this one's a tough one, I think. What is your favorite book?
That is a tough one. I think that it's been several years that I've been able to read a book just because of time. I like to read a lot of magazines, but there's one book that really changed my focus professionally, and it was called Emotional Intelligence. And I know that that he's written several books since then, but this was in the 90s. After my daughter was born, I went back to the workforce and worked in a corporate setting, and just to navigate that and not to have mentors. And I thought it was very interesting in that looking at people's reactions and their emotions and how to work with and be successful working with people of all different aspects. So I thought that was very interesting, and I really loved it. And my background's in psychology and social work, my education. So to pair that with that book, I thought was really life-changing for me. It was very interesting.
That's such a, I love any answer that, I think a lot of people pick something that is life-changing, a book that is life-changing. But I also read it, feel that almost, I think if you're in a management role, it should be required reading. Because as you said, there are some things that I think, like, we can logically say an organization should operate this way, but that doesn't account for people's individual reactions, which can be quite classic based on, so I do think it is really powerful for how you approach relationships. And that extends to work relationships and things like that. Cool. Cool answer. I think this might be only the second or third week I knew the book somebody was talking about. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Well, Deneen, that's all I had for you. I can't believe it. We were fast today. I thank you
really
so much
it.
for your time. Oh, good, good. Me too. Me too. And I'm wildly impressed by your no COVID. I'd like to know what you're doing over there. So we'll talk about that later. But again, thank you. Thank you. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. I'm going down to the library.